Is Hope's dream wedding about to become a nightmare? A shocking theory could change everything for Lope. All right, B&B fans, grab your tissues and your theorizing hats, because we need to talk about the whirlwind happening with Hope Logan. Just when we thought the emotional roller coaster was pulling into the station, it's cranking up for what might be its most dizzying loop yet. Let's set the scene, because it's a lot to process. Hope is remarrying Liam Spencer. Yes, you read that right. The ink is barely dry on her breakup with Carter Walton, and she's already sliding a wedding band back onto her finger. On the surface, it's the picture-perfect reunion. A doting Beth officiating, a beaming Liam, and the promise of their little family unit finally being whole again. It's what so many Lope fans have been praying for. But here's the thing that's got my spidey senses tingling. Doesn't it all feel a little too perfect? A little too smooth? In the world of The Bold and the Beautiful, when things go this right, it usually means a seismic shock is lurking just around the corner. So let's put on our detective hats and dive into the delicious drama that could be brewing. The whirlwind that spun Hope right back to Liam. First, we have to rewind to the Carter of it all. Oh, Carter. Our gorgeous, noble COO who did perhaps the most heartbreakingly selfless thing imaginable. He looked at the woman he loved, saw her torn between him and the family she built, and he let her go. He told Hope to go home to her family. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated love, and it shattered our hearts into a million pieces. But what did Hope do? She literally walked from that heart-wrenching goodbye right into Liam's arms and his instant marriage proposal. Now, I know, Liam and Hope have a history thicker than a Forster family photo album. They share a child, they've been through hell and back, and that connection never fully extinguished. But honey, let's be real for a second. Accepting a proposal the same day you ended a serious, passionate engagement? That's not just moving fast. That's breaking the sound barrier of romance. Shouldn't there be a coffee date first, a few conversations about what's truly different this time, a moment to just breathe? It feels less like a decision and more like a reaction, a desperate leap back into the familiar arms of what was, instead of a thoughtful step toward what could be. So now we're barreling toward this wedding. Hope is over the moon, planning a ceremony that's undoubtedly adorable, onion rings and all. She's even laid down the law about one very important guest. No Sheila. And given Sheila's recent evolution, she might actually respect that boundary. Which leads us to the million-dollar question, if Sheila isn't the one to crash this party, what or who will? The spoilers have been hinting, and Hope herself even mentioned it. This engagement feels different. At first, we all assumed she meant different in a good, stable, finally this is right way. But what if different wasn't an emotional feeling? What if it was a physical one? The collapse heard around the world, a pregnancy bombshell. Picture this. It's the wedding day. Hope is a vision in white walking down the aisle towards a hopeful Liam. The music is playing, everyone is smiling, but Hope is feeling off. Dizzy, nauseous. She brushes it off as wedding day jitters. Who wouldn't have butterflies? She makes it to the altar. Liam takes her hands. They exchange their first loving glances. And then it happens. Her eyes roll back, her knees buckle, and she collapses in a heap of tulle and terror. Chaos erupts. The wedding is halted. And as Hope is rushed to the hospital, the diagnosis comes in. She's pregnant. Cue the record scratch. A baby should be a blessing, a symbol of a new beginning. But in this case, it could be a ticking bomb time. Because the timeline here is everything. Hope and Carter were engaged. They were a committed, passionate couple. While we didn't see every single moment of their intimacy on screen, we know enough about soap operas to know that the most dramatic moments often happen just off camera. So the earth-shattering, world-stopping question becomes, is the baby Liam's or Carter's? Can you even imagine the fallout? If it's Liam's, it would be a dramatic but ultimately unifying event, a scare that solidifies their new marriage. They'd have a new little Spencer on the way, and the dream would, against all odds, survive. If it's Carter's, this is where the real drama ignites. everything would change in an instant. Hope's whirlwind remarriage would be built on a foundation of quicksand. Liam, who has his own complicated history with Steffi and Hayes, would be faced with the ultimate test. Could he raise another man's child, the child of the man Hope very recently loved, as his own? And let's not forget about Carter himself. He sacrificed his own happiness for Hope, only to find out she's carrying his child. The man who just started tentatively seeing someone new, Daphne Rose, would be thrown back into the heart of the storm. His noble heart would be torn in a million directions. This isn't just a paternity test. It's a potential atom bomb dropped directly on the lives of Hope, Liam, Carter, Beth, and Daphne. It's a story filled with impossible choices, heartbreaking confessions, and the kind of emotional turmoil that makes for the very best soap opera. So what do you think, beautiful people? Is Hope's smooth-sailing wedding destined for a medical emergency that reveals a shocking pregnancy? And if she is pregnant, who is the father? Is this the miracle that finally cements Lope, or the secret that will tear them apart for good? The possibilities are endless, and my heart is already racing just thinking about it. Drop your theories in the comments below. I'm dying to hear what you think is coming.